I think I found myself a new intro. I think I finally figured it out. Well, what's going on, folks? Um, your average Dago dipshit's back. Yeah, I got kind of thrown for a loop today. I had a relatively easy day at work, and now I'm like calm and serene, and enjoying my evening. And I got random serendipitous text from a friend of mine telling me to watch a movie. His name is Jamie. He's my chef buddy. He normally recommends movies that he's got a style, but he just like watches everything, and I like that about him because he'll show me like a lot of like he showed me Green Inferno, and I was a fan of Eli Roth. I was completely unaware that movie existed, but he's like, yo, this movie's brutal as fuck, but it's kind of funny. And like, sure enough, we watched it and it was brutal. And like, he showed me like Flowers in the Attic, which is about incest, which is fucking hilarious. And what the fuck else? Oh, I Spit on Your Grave. That's another good one. He showed me the new one, but I think there's one from the 70s that's also pretty good. Yeah, so he's like, he throws like some good suggestions my way, a whole bunch. And I usually, if I ask him like, hey, name something, he'll give me something. But this one came out of nowhere. It's called Six Underground. It's a film from a couple of years ago, but it's got Ryan Reynolds in it. And the only thing he said is, yo, watch this movie. I was like, okay, what's it about? And he said, badass action movie. And I'll take that for what it's worth. I trust his word. I also kind of read in the description it's something about a dude who's like a tech billionaire that goes missing or something. So that's an interesting premise. I saw from the little poster thingy that Ryan Reynolds is in it, which he's an adequate actor. I like him. He was here's an interesting thing about Hollywood, and I don't know how I'm gonna dance around how I got into this subject, but I might have to explain via that to kind of make my point. But let's just start with baby steps and see where this ends up going, see if I can dance around it. So there's a thing in Hollywood about typecasting where typecasting is completely necessary, and I've actually mentioned it before. I know that I was talking about Jesse Eisenberg being really good at when he's typecast. And I think typecasting has a purpose, and it it definitely does serve it kind of gives this familiarity to a role where if you see Michael Cera in something, that it's going to be probably something stupid, but also he's going to be kind of like a soft person, a little bit witty. And there's a reason that people are if you see Clint Eastwood, it's going to be a gruff old guy and he's going to shoot somebody. There's a reason people are typecast, and it's because it gives you, the viewer, a certain level of comfort and you're aware of shit without it being said outright. It adds a layer of subtext, which complements a film nicely. And I think that's something that a lot of people that aren't necessarily character actors, but they do get typecast, they can either excel in this way or they can fail in this way. And I'm not going to get into who I think does and doesn't. And also my brain's not in the spot to be naming names, to try and pick fights with randos online about oh, you don't really think that Sarah Jessica Parker isn't shut the fuck up. I really could care fucking less. They're all actors. They're just people that stand in one spot all day to get their makeup done, have some other dude dress them, memorize a few lines, and then act like babies and fucking political activists, when in reality all they're doing is playing make-believe, and they really have an inconsequential bearing on the world other than the value that we assign them. So if you just ignore them, pretend like they're, that's just their job, you don't glamorize it, then you've kind of created a weird I don't know. I guess you've eroded a part of their paradigm, because 99% of being a celebrity actor is your ego. And if you don't give them that, that's the entirety of their personality. And I think that's really funny if you do that. The fact that this is never going to be heard by anybody, it's I don't care. I do this for my own mental health. I'm probably going to send this to Jamie, and Jake's going to find it on his own anyway, but I doubt it's going to go any further than that. So what I think is funny is that I don't need my ego stroked for me to be effective at what I'm doing, which isn't really criticizing movies. It's just me rambling into a microphone by myself about movies. I don't need that. But I do find it funny that people need that ego reassurance of it, like to continue doing what they're doing. I'm up to this is gonna be my 34th episode, and like I don't do this because people like it. I do this so I don't fucking shoot myself. Like that's like really, like if I didn't do this, I would probably be out on Route 50 picking fights with oncoming traffic, and I don't want to. That's a bad look for me, and I don't need that in my life. But back to typecasting, because I don't know how we ended up here. I'm gonna just give it to myself anyway. That was worth it. I'm not suicidal. I just yeah. But if anything, I'm very happy to be alive right now after yesterday night. Holy shit, that podcast was dog shit. I think I had a good bit with the fucking bong, but like, nah. I thought I was gonna die. I'm really happy I didn't, and I'm very happy to be alive today. I'm very happy to be alive in general. Almost at the end of the summer, I'm gonna enjoy myself some downtime. But anyway. Back to typecasting. The reason I like typecasting is because it does give you this comfort. Like, you go into something knowing that Ryan Reynolds is in it. He is a serious actor. He played several roles very straight. And even some of the sillier roles he did, like some of the more lighthearted roles, like he played Monty in Waiting, which he did a really good job at. But he played that straight. And part of the reason he was so effective was that he played it straight. Even though he's like saying ridiculous shit and kind of behaving the way like the worst server in the fucking world, like, oh my God, fucking smack the ego off that guy. Like the way he's behaving, he plays it straight. And he's also in the remake of the Amityville Horror, which I think he was all right in. I remember liking that movie, but I also liked it when I was like 14. I'm sure upon rewatching it, it'll be dog shit, but I'll give it a shot one of these days. I'm trying to do as many of these as I can. Yeah, like I like that he's typecast. Like, I know that this film is probably going to be like Jamie said, it's going to be like a badass action movie, which I'm psyched about. I like action. I enjoy action movies. I like watching shit explode. I don't want to be disappointed from the action element. I just, I kind of know going in that, if Ryan Reynolds is in it, I'm probably not going to be like too fixated on like this isn't going to be like a Jean-Claude Van Damme or like a fucking, a Stallone, fucking Seagal. Fuck, I should do Under Siege while it's still on there. I just watched it, but I'll gladly watch that shit again. God fucking damn it, do I love Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal is one of those people where, here, I got like 2 minutes. I'll fucking break it down for you. Steven Seagal is one of those guys where if his movies are on, I don't care what you're doing. It's like you could be like just about to leave the house and you could like be like 3 minutes late for wherever you gotta be, and someone's like, yo, what the fuck is it? Like, why are you 3 minutes late? It's like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, fucking Under Siege was on. I need to catch the last 3 minutes. And they would be like, yo, don't do it again, but I understand. Like, I would completely understand if somebody showed up late for work a couple minutes if they were like, yo, dude, fucking, I was just watching Siege fucking punch some people out. Yeah, like, even his new movies. I'm drawing a blank at all of his fucking movies, but I remember watching they used to have a marathon on, I want to say, TNT or like whatever the UPN turned into. I guess it's UPN still. There was a Seagal movie marathon with all of his fucking goods. Hard Target is the one that movie fucking rules. Fucking Native American Seagal. Like, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking cheesy. But I remember watching Hard Target, Under Siege, and then one more of the Seagal movies. I can't fucking remember it off the top of my head because I'm high as balls, as you could hear by the beginning of this podcast. This podcast is brought to you by marijuana. Fuck, oh yeah, I meant to say, I'm trying to get some fucking sponsors. I highly doubt that Chinese film company that Steven Seagal got bought out by would sponsor me. But, I mean, like, yo, I mean, it looks like I'm going to have to start learning Mandarin. Shit's not going too good for the U.S. But it's going to basically be this fucking looming Cold War between the U.S. and Chinese is just going to be who builds a bigger military before running out of money. And then once they run out of money, they're just going to invade the other guy. But I got a strong feeling like it's going to be the U.S. U.S. has like been through some shit. I mean, China's been through some shit too. But like, I don't know. We don't have some like 100-year resentment shit that we're trying to like enact. We just are like dumb belligerents. And that's what part of being American is. And I like it. So speaking of being a dumb belligerent American, I'm going to go eat some food and enjoy a mindless action movie because I'm really excited to see this. I really hope that it lives up to exactly being what I want. I hope it surpasses my expectations. I'm going to set this at about like a 4 out of 10 off the bat. Let's see where it goes. All right, so without further ado, we're watching 6 Underground. This is going to be an interesting one. I am. So, I think I said my expectation was at like a 4 out of 10. And I would say this film was a solid 5 out of 10. Let's give it up for Michael Bay. I didn't realize going into it this was a Michael Bay movie, but yeah, fucking Michael Bay making a pretty damn good action movie. Six Underground. All right. So yeah, let's get right into it. The film is about a billionaire dude who has a vendetta against he just operates for the CIA, but basically just you kind of learn that he's got a bit of a sordid involvement. Not that there's anything else cerebral about it, but he's got a kind of weird involvement with the CIA, but ultimately he's just kind of imposing his will upon people for whatever reason, personal, gripe, grudge, whatever. So he's using his means to essentially kidnap people and blackmail them, or I don't know if blackmail is the right word, but kind of like strong arm them into faking their own deaths so that they could be his accomplices in crime because they have some kind of special skill or something that makes them noteworthy. Yeah, like it's fine. It's a good enough film. I thought it was. So there's a couple negatives. There's a couple glaring negatives, actually, and because I did enjoy this film more than I thought I was going to. Let's start with those. The logic of this film is fucking ridiculous. It's not trying to be political, but it does it in a way where every stereotype that they need to rely on just comes off as like amplified. And I'm not like trying to say like they didn't do a good job at like hiding it. They made a fictional country in the Middle East that they're going to like kidnap one party member and then assassinate another party member and essentially cause a coup, which like we've done that in so many real countries. It's kind of funny that they couldn't just pick one and let this fucking fantasy story play out there. But I mean, it's fine. They invent a country called, I think it's called like Tagistan or something, and then they have to like assassinate the president, de facto president of Tagistan. Like, you can just pick any other stand, and we did that there. Like, you don't really need to, but like they're doing it to conveniently get away with like saying like, oh yeah, like this is a work of fiction, like this is just an action movie taking place in this random weird country. Like, no, you get like you know what you're doing, and like in the end they like throw him out of a helicopter. And the people are like literally one step away from just cutting this dude's head off in the middle of the street. But you can't say you can't do that. You can't call them Muslims either, because Dagestan, it's like they're not. I think there's at one point Turkmenistan is like referenced as a language. Turkmen. Yeah, I don't know, but like it wasn't a major gripe. It was just kind of like something that it stands out. They tried to walk both sides of the line, where like being able to have the stereotypes and then get away with it not being like a total. It's like it's the fucking Middle East. Just like fucking say it. But minor gripe. The other thing too is the fucking story, the narrative of this film is like dog shit. It's kind of done in this way where it's trying to give you a little bit of flashback backstory, but it just is like edited in such a chaotic way where it has this like visual like motif of like kind of like the James Bond movies or the Bourne Identity or what's the other one? Fuck. Yeah. Pretty high, pretty tired, but it's got like that like Tom Clancy shit, like where they have like the date and the time. It's like Serbian Sea 400 hours, like it like a little whatever Comic Sans or not Comic Sans, it's the wrong fucking font. Courier? Yeah, Courier. Or like digital font or whatever. I don't fucking know. Like it usually gives you like that in the bottom left corner. So it's like it's got kind of something similar to that, but it doesn't really it never has its like own distinct like separation from when the flashbacks are happening. So just like every like 4 minutes for like a good chunk of this movie, there's just like a scene change and it's like possibly a time change. So there's just like these like compounding like things where it's like what fucking decade is this film supposed to be taking place in, and like you just kind of like it gets a little overwhelming at points, but then like the more you realize that doesn't really matter, it's like just kind of mindless. You're like, I mean, not that you didn't already know that, but it's like, oh, like this really doesn't matter. Like you can relinquish any like hope of logic. It's like just a bunch of hot women, hot dudes, Ryan Reynolds being smart ass, whoever the guy at the noodle place was eating noodles, all them, the whole gang, and I think Dave Franco. I'm not entirely sure if that's Dave Franco, but one of the guys gets killed by a forklift. It looks like Dave Franco, but yeah, just really those two things, like a chaotic narrative that is kind of like over edited, but like unnecessarily, but it's just kind of made to look slick because it's a Michael Bay film. They need to have it grounded to something, I think, too, which is like part of it. But yeah, like that's why it's just kind of it's overproduced. But that being said, let's get to the good. So I really like action films because especially just coming off the heels of watching Blues Brothers, I like a film that doesn't mind just being like completely like reveling in the like the fact that it's an action film. Like if it's got like that element of action and you're like you're gonna do it, don't just like half-ass it. Don't just do it. Like go all out for it. Like even though this film uses like some CGI, but it's not like terribly heavily reliant on it. Like it is, and it's noticeable, but it's not as bad as it could be. There's a lot of practical effects in it which make up for it. And the CGI is used creatively, which I kind of like too. It actually comes off like pretty good. It's like a nice blend of like CGI and practical effects and like real life car chasing and like drifting and gunplay and just like kind of like well choreographed scenes where like you have a very good like you have a sense of like what's going on in it and like where people are in relation to it. Like you don't have to have like a necessarily like a top down overlay of like whatever buildings layout is, but you get a good sense of it. You get the gist of it being like whole, like it was like a finished idea. So I don't know. I like that element of it, that it's like you just kind of have this a lot of like these very lavish, extraordinarily well choreographed action sequences that are met with like nice pauses. The film doesn't mind taking a break for a little bit. It does kind of get, like I said, a little like, it doesn't have to go that far into their backstories, but it does. I don't mind it being thorough because it does offer like a nice pace, like of kind of like an ebb and flow of the story narrative. So that's pleasant, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate that it that it does go that way. But the action sequences, I feel like I really do need to like talk them up because I haven't seen an action movie similar to this probably since Michael Bay did Avatar. But like Avatar was like a big deal. I've never fucking heard of this movie. I don't remember seeing advertising for it or like, remember hearing about it getting like, cause I'm pretty in the know of movies. Like I don't just watch indie films and like, I don't just like, I go see them in theaters. I've never heard of this movie. And like, it looks like something that was just dumped onto Netflix, but it's like an incredibly well-made movie for what it is. Like, it's not like the fucking Citizen Kane. Like I always go back to Citizen Kane. It's not a piece of art, but it is something that if you want to watch something mindless, it's at least good mindless. And I appreciate and respect that. And I fucking am like kind of taken aback that like it took me, a suggestion to find this film. I'm thoroughly surprised, and I'm happy I enjoyed this. Like I said, like there's not too much that you could like take away from it. The morals of the stories are kind of like um it does raise like this ethical dilemma of like, are you saying that as long as the people that are backing coups aren't the government, that's a good thing? Or is the message kind of that like coups are a necessary evil if you want to get rid of evil, like that's already in there, like absolutionism? Would this regime change not like ultimately just like fuck the infrastructure of this place? Because like even though they got the new guy in there and the sentiment seems to be high, don't you think there'd still be like sympathetic people sympathetics that are sympathetic, or people that are sympathetic to the belligerent that they just removed, and like the Ba'ath Party didn't just disappear overnight? I'm sure there's a lot of people that are happy about it, but they still fucking were around. Like, I don't know. It just leaves like a very ambiguous moral question, and I like that, but I don't like that it's like, I mean, like I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't like that. It's funny. It's just like I don't. I like that it's a very complex and like almost like you need like two diplomatic parties to like resolve an issue like this, but it's like very one-sided because it kind of comes off like Team America. And what's kind of funny is it does like there's like certain parts of this film where I'm like, this is just live action Team America, but I'm okay with that because Team America is marionettes and it's like the South Park guys. So you already get like the heavy handedness and like the sarcasm from Team America, where you're like, yeah, like this is over the top and sarcastic, but like when push comes to shove, it's marionettes. Like the action scenes are incredibly lavish in that, but in their own respect. This, on the other hand, is like Team America, but like if you handed the reins to Michael Bay, it's a different beast. But like you get the Ryan Reynolds sarcasm, so it does have this like element of like kind of the same thing, and I do like that. Yeah, like I just it just kind of came to me. I forgot that I was thinking that like like pretty much the first like 40 minutes, I was like, this is just live action Team America. And then like nothing really solidified. Like the thought had kind of escaped me because I was enjoying the movie. So I thought that was like, oh wow, I'm actually having fun watching this. This is strange. But yeah, the final shot is like literally the cover of there's like a pretty like famous I wouldn't call it like the sequence, but like there's like a shot where like all of them are walking through a hangar, and then like Michael Bay kind of does that in all his movies too, but the way that they're like six abreast, it's like very similar to Team America. And just I don't know, I just found it kind of funny. I thought it was clever. I don't know if it's homage. I highly doubt it's homage. I highly doubt Michael Bay even has any awareness of like what he's taken his ideas from, but whatever he did here, I liked it. I wish that this actually I would have loved to have seen this on the big screen, because like I take that back. I watched it on my 53-inch TV and it looked fucking great. I'm sure on the big screen the CGI would have annoyed me, and it probably would have been like all blown out and like doing that like thing, the fucking like transformer noise that Michael Bay sneaks into all his fucking movies. I don't know. I fucking hate that shit, but it it works. It works. Yeah. Let me I guess just shout out Ryan Reynolds. Like I said, like the acting for being typecast, he was exactly who you would think he would be in this film. But he's like, he's a smart ass with a heart. Like it is what it is. If you like Ryan Reynolds and you enjoy him being snarky when he's not busy being Deadpool, yeah, watch this movie. I don't got much else more to say about this, but I'm about to go watch the UFC. Derek Lewis is about to fight the fucking Gaines. Yeah, Gaines. And I got money on it. So once again, thank you for listening, and if you can, go out and see 6 Underground.